This video contains audio content only. There are no visual elements or images accompanying the audio. If you're expecting to see video footage, please note that this is an intentional audio-only presentation. We recommend listening to this content rather than watching the screen. Thank you for your understanding and enjoy the audio. Welcome, curious minds and thrill seekers alike, to our spine-tingling exploration of haunted houses. From the whispers of ancient folklore to the heart-pounding experiences of modern attractions, we're about to embark on a journey through the shadowy corridors of human fear and fascination. Haunted houses have captivated our imaginations for centuries, evolving from cautionary tales whispered around campfires to elaborate, high-tech spectacles that draw millions of visitors each year. But what is it about these eerie edifices that continues to enthrall us? Why do we willingly subject ourselves to fear, and what do these experiences reveal about our deepest anxieties and cultural values? In this audio journey, we'll peel back the layers of mystery surrounding haunted houses. We'll explore their rich history, delve into the psychology that makes them so appealing, and examine how they've shaped and been shaped by popular culture. From the creaky floorboards of Victorian mansions to the cutting-edge special effects of modern haunted attractions, we'll investigate the business, technology, and artistry behind these fear factories. But our exploration won't stop at entertainment. We'll also consider the ethical implications of using real tragedies as fodder for frights and examine how haunted house traditions differ across cultures. By the end of our journey, you'll have a newfound appreciation for these temples of terror and a deeper understanding of what they reveal about our society and ourselves. So, dim the lights, settle in, and prepare to confront your fears. It's time to unlock the secrets of haunted houses and discover why, generation after generation, we can't resist the allure of a good scare. 1. The evolution of haunted houses from folklore to commercial attractions. Our journey begins in the misty realms of folklore, where the concept of haunted houses first took root in the human imagination. For centuries, tales of spirits lingering in abandoned buildings or cursed lands have been passed down through generations, serving as cautionary tales and explanations for the unknown. In ancient civilizations, the idea of places inhabited by the dead was deeply ingrained in religious and cultural beliefs. The Egyptians, for instance, built elaborate tombs filled with traps and curses to deter grave robbers, creating some of the earliest, haunted, spaces. Greek and Roman mythology is rife with tales of restless spirits and haunted locations, like the Oracle of Delphi, where the veil between the mortal world and the realm of the gods was said to be thin. As we move into the Middle Ages, the concept of haunted houses began to take a more recognizable form. Castles and manor houses, with their long histories and isolation, became natural settings for ghost stories. The Tower of London, with its bloody history of executions and political intrigue, became one of the most famous, haunted, locations in Europe. Visitors today still report seeing the ghosts of Anne Boleyn and other unfortunate souls who met their end within its walls. The Victorian era marked a significant turning point in the evolution of haunted houses. This period saw a surge in interest in spiritualism and the supernatural, coinciding with rapid industrialization and social change. The haunted house became a popular trope in literature, with authors like Edgar Allan Poe and Charles Dickens using decrepit mansions as settings for their Gothic tales. These stories often reflected societal anxieties about class, morality, and the rapid pace of change in the industrial world. But it wasn't until the early 20th century that haunted houses began to transition from folklore and fiction into real-world attractions. One of the earliest recorded haunted house attractions was the Orton and Spooner Ghost House, which opened in 1915 in the United Kingdom. This fairground attraction used a mixture of mechanical devices, spooky sound effects, and costumed actors to scare visitors, techniques that would become staples of haunted house design for decades to come. The Great Depression in the United States saw an unexpected boom in homemade haunted houses. As a way to distract young pranksters and provide cheap entertainment, parents began organizing house-to-house parties where kids could travel from basement to basement, experiencing different spooky scenes. These DIY haunts laid the groundwork for the commercialization of haunted houses that would follow. The 1960s and 70s marked the true birth of the modern haunted house attraction. Walt Disney's Haunted Mansion, which opened in Disneyland in 1969, set a new standard for haunted attractions. Its use of cutting-edge special effects and immersive storytelling showed that haunted houses could be sophisticated, family-friendly experiences. The success of the Haunted Mansion inspired countless imitators and kicked off a golden age of haunted attractions. In the 1970s, nonprofit organizations like the Jaycees began using haunted houses as fundraisers. These community-driven attractions, often set up in abandoned buildings or fields, became annual traditions in many towns across America. The success of these ventures caught the attention of entrepreneurs, leading to the rise of for-profit haunted houses in the 1980s and 90s. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have seen haunted houses evolve into a full-fledged industry. Today's haunted attractions range from small, locally run operations to massive, multi-million-dollar productions like Universal Studios' Halloween Horror Nights. These modern haunts incorporate state-of-the-art technology, Hollywood-quality special effects, and elaborate set designs to create truly immersive experiences. The evolution of haunted houses reflects broader changes in society and technology. From simple tales told around the fire to virtual reality experiences that blur the line between fantasy and reality, haunted houses have consistently adapted to meet our changing desires for fear and excitement. They've moved from the realm of superstition to entertainment, yet still tap into our primal fears and fascination with the unknown. As we continue our journey through the world of haunted houses, we'll see how this rich history has shaped our understanding of fear, entertainment, and the human psyche. The haunted house, in all its forms, remains a mirror reflecting our deepest anxieties and our endless capacity for imagination. 2. The psychology of fear. Why people enjoy haunted houses and how they reflect societal anxieties. Now that we've traced the historical evolution of haunted houses, let's delve into the fascinating psychology behind why people willingly subject themselves to fear, and pay for the privilege. The appeal of haunted houses taps into some of our most primal instincts and complex psychological needs, while also reflecting broader societal anxieties. At its core, the attraction to haunted houses is linked to our body's physiological response to fear. When we're scared, our bodies release a cocktail of hormones and neurotransmitters, including adrenaline, dopamine, and endorphins. This biochemical rush can create a natural high, leaving us feeling exhilarated and energized. It's the same mechanism that makes other thrilling activities, like skydiving or watching horror movies, so appealing to many people. But the appeal of haunted houses goes beyond mere chemical reactions. They offer a safe space to experience fear in a controlled environment. In our everyday lives, genuine threats can have serious consequences. Haunted houses allow us to flirt with danger and confront our fears without any real risk. This controlled exposure can even have therapeutic benefits, helping people build resilience and cope with anxiety in their daily lives. Psychologists have identified several personality traits that correlate with enjoyment of haunted houses. People who score high in sensation-seeking tend to enjoy the adrenaline rush of a good scare. Those with a high tolerance for ambiguity often find the unpredictable nature of haunted houses exciting rather than distressing. Interestingly, studies have shown that people who enjoy horror experiences like haunted houses often have a strong sense of curiosity and openness to new experiences. The social aspect of haunted houses also plays a crucial role in their appeal. Going through a scary experience with friends or family can strengthen social bonds. Shared fear creates a sense of camaraderie, and successfully navigating a frightening situation together can boost confidence and create lasting memories. It's not uncommon to see groups emerging from haunted houses laughing and recounting their experiences, the initial fear having transformed into excitement and joy. But haunted houses aren't just about individual psychology, they also serve as a reflection of broader societal fears and anxieties. Throughout history, the themes and scares featured in haunted houses have evolved to mirror the concerns of their time. In the Victorian era, for example, haunted house stories often dealt with themes of class conflict, moral decay, and the rapid pace of industrialization. The creaky old mansion filled with ghosts became a metaphor for a decaying aristocracy and the sins of the past coming back to haunt the present. During the Cold War, haunted attractions began to incorporate themes of nuclear annihilation and alien invasion, reflecting widespread fears of the time. The 1970s and 80s saw a rise in serial killer-themed haunts, mirroring societal anxiety about random violence and the breakdown of community safety. In recent years, haunted houses have adapted to reflect more contemporary fears. Climate change has inspired apocalyptic themes, while concerns about technology have given rise to attractions featuring AI gone rogue or surveillance state nightmares. The COVID-19 pandemic even prompted some haunted houses to incorporate themes of contagion and isolation. Haunted houses also often play on universal fears that transcend specific time periods. Fear of the dark, fear of being trapped, and fear of the unknown are common elements in many haunted attractions. These primal fears tap into our most basic survival instincts, creating a visceral response that goes beyond conscious thought. The design of haunted houses is carefully crafted to maximize psychological impact. Techniques like disorientation, sensory deprivation, and sudden contrasts in light and sound are used to keep visitors off balance and heighten their sense of vulnerability. Many haunts also employ narrative elements to create a more immersive experience, allowing visitors to feel like they're part of a story rather than just passive observers. Interestingly, research has shown that the most effective scares in haunted houses often come not from the big reveals or jump scares, but from the anticipation leading up to them. This plays into our tendency to let our imaginations run wild, often conjuring up scenarios far more terrifying than reality. The psychology of haunted houses also extends to the performers who work in them. Many haunted house actors report a sense of empowerment and catharsis from their roles. By embodying frightening characters, they can explore darker aspects of their personalities in a safe, socially acceptable way. As our society continues to evolve, so too will the psychological landscape of haunted houses. Virtual and augmented reality technologies are opening up new possibilities for personalized fear experiences. Some researchers are even exploring the potential use of haunted house-like experiences in exposure therapy for phobias and PTSD. In essence, haunted houses serve as a kind of psychological playground, allowing us to confront our fears, challenge our limits, and explore the darker corners of our psyche, all within the safe confines of an entertaining experience. They're a testament to our complex relationship with fear, our need for controlled risk, and our endless fascination with the unknown. As we continue our journey through the world of haunted houses, we'll see how these psychological principles play out in real-world locations with long histories of alleged paranormal activity. Get ready to explore some of the most famous, real, haunted houses in the world. 3. Famous real-life haunted houses and their histories. While many haunted houses are purely fictional or created for entertainment, there are numerous real-life locations around the world that have gained reputations for being genuinely haunted. These places, steeped in history and shrouded in mystery, have become the stuff of legend, attracting ghost hunters, paranormal enthusiasts, and curious tourists alike. Let's explore some of the most famous real-life haunted houses and the chilling histories behind them. We'll start our ghostly tour in the United States with the infamous Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. This sprawling Victorian mansion was once the home of Sarah Winchester, widow of firearms magnate William Wirt Winchester. According to legend, Sarah was told by a medium that she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. To appease these spirits and confuse evil ghosts, she embarked on a never-ending construction project, building a labyrinthine house filled with staircases that lead nowhere, doors that open onto blank walls, and windows overlooking other rooms. Construction on the Winchester house continued 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 38 years until Sarah's death in 1922. The result is a 160-room mansion full of architectural oddities and unexplained phenomena. Visitors and staff have reported hearing footsteps, seeing shadowy figures, and experiencing sudden cold spots throughout the house. Whether these occurrences are due to supernatural activity or simply the result of the house's bizarre architecture remains a topic of debate. Moving to the East Coast, we find the Lizzie Borden House in Fall River, Massachusetts. This unassuming Victorian home was the site of one of the most notorious unsolved murder cases in American history. On August 4, 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were brutally murdered with an axe. Andrew's daughter, Lizzie, was the prime suspect but was ultimately acquitted of the crime. Today, the Lizzie Borden House operates as a bed and breakfast, allowing brave guests to spend the night in the very rooms where the murders took place. Visitors have reported a wide range of paranormal experiences, from unexplained sounds and cold spots to full-bodied apparitions. Some claim to have seen the ghost of Lizzie herself, while others report encounters with the spirits of her murdered parents. Crossing the Atlantic, we come to one of the most famous haunted houses in the United Kingdom, the ancient Ram Inn in Gloucestershire, England. Dating back to the 12th century, this former pub has a long and dark history. It's said to have been built on an ancient pagan burial ground and has been linked to child sacrifices, devil worship, and witch burnings. The ancient Ram Inn boasts an impressive roster of ghostly inhabitants. Visitors have reported encounters with a succubus, a female demon, the spirit of a murdered young girl, a high priestess, and various other entities. The inn's reputation is so fearsome that some guests have reportedly fled in the middle of the night, unable to withstand the oppressive atmosphere and unexplained phenomena. In New Orleans, a city known for its rich paranormal history, stands the LaLaurie Mansion. This French quarter house was once owned by Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a socialite who was discovered to have been torturing and murdering her slaves in the 1830s. When a fire broke out in the mansion's kitchen, rescuers discovered a horror chamber in the attic where LaLaurie's victims were chained and mutilated. Since then, the LaLaurie Mansion has been plagued by reports of paranormal activity. Screams have been heard echoing from the upper floors, and apparitions of tortured slaves have been seen. The house's dark history has made it a popular stop on New Orleans ghost tours, and it's even featured in the TV series, American Horror Story, Coven. Venturing to the other side of the world, we find Monte Cristo Homestead in New South Wales, Australia. Built in 1885, this Victorian manor has a history rife with tragedy. Multiple deaths have occurred on the property, including a young child who was dropped down the stairs, a maid who fell from the balcony, and a stable boy who burned to death in his sleep. Visitors to Monte Cristo have reported a wide range of paranormal experiences, from unexplained lights and cold spots to ghostly apparitions. The original owner, Christopher Crawley, is said to haunt the main bedroom, while his wife Elizabeth has been seen in the ballroom. The homestead is now open for ghost tours and overnight stays, attracting paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. Back in the United States, the Whaley House in San Diego, California, stands as another testament to the enduring appeal of haunted locations. Built in 1857 on the site of a former gallows, the house has a long history of tragedy and alleged paranormal activity. The Whaley family, who lived in the house, experienced numerous hardships, including the death of their young son and the suicide of their daughter. Visitors to the Whaley house have reported seeing the ghosts of Thomas and Anna Whaley, hearing the cries of their deceased children, and even encountering the spirit of Yankee Jim Robinson, a man who was hanged on the property before the house was built. The house is now a museum and is considered one of the most haunted places in America. These real-life haunted houses, with their rich histories and countless ghost stories, serve as powerful reminders of our enduring fascination with the supernatural. They blur the line between history and legend, fact and fiction, challenging our understanding of reality and the unknown. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, these locations undeniably possess a unique atmosphere that can send chills down the spine of even the most skeptical visitor. They serve as living museums, preserving not just the architecture and artifacts of bygone eras, but also the stories, beliefs, and fears of generations past. As we move forward in our exploration of haunted houses, we'll see how these real-life locations have influenced and been influenced by their portrayal in popular culture. From literature to film and television, haunted houses have left an indelible mark on our collective imagination, shaping how we think about fear, history, and the possibility of life beyond death. 4. The role of haunted houses in pop culture and media. Haunted houses have long been a staple of popular culture, captivating audiences across various forms of media. From classic literature to modern cinema and video games, these eerie abodes have played a pivotal role in shaping our collective imagination and our understanding of horror as a genre. Let's explore how haunted houses have been portrayed in different media and the impact they've had on popular culture. In literature, haunted houses have been a central theme since the dawn of the Gothic novel. Horace Walpole's The Castle of Otranto, published in 1764, is often credited as the first Gothic novel and set the stage for countless haunted house stories to follow. The image of a decrepit, foreboding mansion became a cornerstone of Gothic literature, appearing in classics like Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, and Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. One of the most influential haunted house novels of the 20th century is Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House, published in 1959. Jackson's novel not only terrified readers but also redefined the haunted house genre by focusing on psychological horror rather than overt supernatural events. The book has been adapted into 2 films and a critically acclaimed Netflix series, cementing its place in the haunted house canon. Moving to the silver screen, haunted houses have been a favorite subject of filmmakers since the early days of cinema. The 1920 German expressionist film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, is often cited as one of the earliest examples of a haunted house in film, with its distorted, nightmarish sets creating a sense of unease and dread. The 1960s saw a boom in haunted house films, with classics like The Innocents, 1961, and The Haunting, 1963, setting new standards for atmospheric horror. These films relied more on suggestion and psychological tension than on explicit scares, a trend that would continue in later critically acclaimed haunted house films like The Others, 2001, and The Babadook, 2014. However, it was The Amityville Horror, 1979, that truly catapulted the haunted house into mainstream pop culture. Based on supposedly true events, the film spawned a franchise and countless imitators, solidifying many of the tropes we now associate with haunted house stories, from mysterious cold spots to ghostly apparitions and demonic possessions. The 1980s and 90s saw haunted houses often used as a backdrop for more action-oriented horror, as seen in films like Poltergeist, 1982, and Ghostbusters, 1984. These films combined haunted house elements with cutting-edge special effects, creating a new blend of horror and spectacle. In recent years, there's been a resurgence of interest in more subtle, psychological haunted house stories. Films like The Conjuring, 2013, and its sequels have successfully blended old-school haunted house tropes with modern filmmaking techniques, while movies like Crimson Peak, 2015, have returned to the Gothic roots of the genre. Television has also embraced the haunted house genre. Shows like American Horror Story, Murder House, and the aforementioned The Haunting of Hill House have used the extended format of TV series to delve deep into the histories and mysteries of their haunted locations, creating rich, multi-layered narratives that go beyond simple scares. The world of video games has provided a new, interactive dimension to haunted house experiences. Games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill have used haunted house-like settings to create immersive horror experiences. More recent games like Layers of Fear and PT have pushed the boundaries of psychological horror, using the interactivity of the medium to create uniquely unsettling experiences. Haunted houses have even made their way into children's media, albeit in a more lighthearted form. Cartoons like Scooby-Doo have introduced generations of kids to the concept of haunted houses, usually with the twist that the ghosts turn out to be elaborate hoaxes. The animated film, Monster House, 2006, took a more sincere approach, presenting a truly haunted house in a family-friendly package. The influence of haunted houses extends beyond explicit horror media. They've become a common metaphor in literature and film for exploring themes of family, history, and trauma. Works like Mark Z. Danielewski's experimental novel, House of Leaves, use the concept of a haunted house to delve into complex psychological and philosophical territories. In music, haunted houses have inspired countless songs across various genres. From rock classics like The Fi-Fi by The Doors to more recent tracks like House with No Doors by Nico Case, musicians have drawn on the imagery and atmosphere of haunted houses to create evocative, often unsettling compositions. The pervasiveness of haunted houses in pop culture has had a significant impact on real-world haunted attractions. Many haunted house designers draw inspiration from films and literature, recreating iconic scenes or using similar techniques to create scares. Conversely, the popularity of real-world haunted attractions has inspired new waves of haunted house media, creating a feedback loop of inspiration and innovation. Social media and the internet have added new dimensions to the haunted house phenomenon. Viral urban legends and creepypastas often center around haunted locations, while YouTube is filled with videos of paranormal investigations and allegedly haunted sites. These online narratives blend fiction and reality in new ways, keeping the mystique of haunted houses alive in the digital age. The enduring popularity of haunted houses in pop culture speaks to their power as a storytelling device. They serve as perfect microcosms for exploring fear, family dynamics, historical trauma, and the unknown. Whether in books, films, games, or music, haunted houses continue to captivate audiences, tapping into our deepest fears and our endless fascination with the mysterious and the macabre. As we move forward in our exploration, we'll see how this rich cultural legacy has influenced the development of real-world haunted attractions, shaping a multi-million-dollar industry that brings the thrills of haunted houses to life. 5. The business and technology behind modern haunted house attractions. The haunted house industry has evolved from simple community fundraisers to a multi-million-dollar business, employing cutting-edge technology and sophisticated marketing strategies. Today, haunted attractions are a significant part of the entertainment industry, particularly during the Halloween season. Let's pull back the curtain and explore the business and technology that bring these houses of horror to life. The modern haunted attraction industry in the United States alone is estimated to be worth over $300 million annually. According to the Haunted Attraction Association, there are over 1,200 professional haunted houses operating each year, not counting the thousands of charity and home haunts. Some of the largest attractions, like Universal Studios' Halloween Horror Nights, can draw over 500,000 visitors in a single season. Creating a successful haunted attraction requires a significant investment. Large-scale haunts can cost millions of dollars to produce, with expenses covering everything from set design and special effects to marketing and insurance. Even smaller, independent haunts often invest tens of thousands of dollars to create a compelling experience. The business model of most haunted attractions relies heavily on seasonality. Many operate only for a few weeks around Halloween, which means they need to generate enough revenue in a short period to cover their annual costs. This has led to increasingly elaborate and expensive productions as haunts compete for visitors' attention and dollars. Marketing plays a crucial role in the success of haunted attractions. Many haunts use social media extensively, creating viral marketing campaigns and leveraging user-generated content from scared, but thrilled, visitors. Some attractions have even created their own mythology or backstories, which are promoted through websites, social media, and sometimes even tie-in products or experiences. The rise of review sites and social media has also changed the way haunted attractions operate. Positive reviews can make or break a haunt, leading many operators to focus intensely on customer experience and constantly updating their attractions to keep things fresh and exciting. Technology has revolutionized the haunted house industry in recent years. Gone are the days when a few people in masks jumping out from dark corners was enough to scare visitors. Today's haunted attractions use a wide array of high-tech tools to create immersive, terrifying experiences. One of the most important technological advances in haunted houses has been in the realm of animatronics. Modern animatronic creatures can move with startling realism, creating scares that would be impossible or too dangerous for human actors to perform. These robotic monsters can be programmed to respond to visitors' movements, creating personalized scares for each group. Projection mapping technology has allowed haunted houses to create dynamic, changing environments. Walls can appear to crumble, portraits can come to life, and entire rooms can transform before visitors' eyes. This technology allows for a level of visual trickery that was previously impossible in live attractions. Sound design has also become increasingly sophisticated. Many haunted houses now use directional sound systems that can create the illusion of whispers or footsteps coming from specific locations, adding to the sense of unease and disorientation. Some attractions even use infrasound, low-frequency sound waves below the range of human hearing, which some researchers believe can induce feelings of fear and unease. Lighting technology has advanced significantly, allowing for more dynamic and atmospheric effects. LED lighting systems can change color and intensity instantly, creating unsettling shifts in the environment. Some haunts use UV reactive paint and blacklights to create otherworldly glowing environments. Virtual and augmented reality technologies are beginning to make their way into haunted attractions. Some haunts now offer VR experiences as part of their attraction, allowing for scares that would be impossible to create in the physical world. AR technology is being used to add digital elements to physical spaces, creating hybrid experiences that blend the real and virtual worlds. Scent technology is another area where haunted houses are pushing boundaries. Scent machines can release specific odors to enhance the atmosphere, from the musty smell of an old house to the metallic scent of blood. These olfactory cues can significantly enhance the immersive quality of the experience. Many modern haunted attractions also incorporate interactive elements. RFID wristbands can allow the attraction to track visitors' progress and personalize scares. Some haunts even offer branching narratives where visitors' choices affect the course of their experience. Safety is a major concern for haunted attraction operators, both for visitors and employees. Many haunts use sophisticated camera systems to monitor visitors' progress through the attraction, allowing staff to respond quickly to any issues. Fire safety systems have also become more advanced, with some attractions using cold fog systems that can create atmospheric effects without triggering smoke alarms. The haunted attraction industry has also spawned a range of supporting businesses. There are now companies that specialize in creating props, masks, and costumes specifically for haunted attractions. Others focus on providing training for scare actors or consulting services for haunt design and operation. Conventions and trade shows like the Haunted Attraction National Trade Show and Conference, HAUNTCON, and Transworld's Halloween and Attractions Show bring together haunt operators, technology providers, and enthusiasts to share knowledge and showcase the latest innovations in the industry. The business of fear is not without its challenges. Insurance costs can be high due to the physical nature of many scares. Local regulations can be complex, with haunted attractions often falling into gray areas between different types of entertainment venues. And there's always the challenge of pushing boundaries while ensuring visitor safety. Despite these challenges, the haunted attraction industry continues to grow and evolve. As technology advances and audience expectations rise, we can expect to see even more innovative and immersive haunted experiences in the future. From eye-driven personalized scares to fully interactive narrative experiences, the future of haunted attractions promises to be as exciting as it is terrifying. 6. The architecture and design of haunted buildings. The architecture and design of buildings play a crucial role in creating the atmosphere of a haunted house, whether it's a real historical location with a spooky reputation or a purpose-built attraction. Let's explore how architectural elements contribute to the creation of a haunting atmosphere and how designers leverage these principles in both real and fictional haunted spaces. Historically, certain architectural styles have become closely associated with haunted houses in the popular imagination. Victorian and Gothic Revival architecture, with their ornate details, dark colors, and imposing silhouettes, are perhaps the most iconic. These styles, popular in the 19th century, coincided with a period of intense interest in spiritualism and the supernatural, cementing their association with ghostly activity in the public mind. Key elements of these styles that contribute to a haunting atmosphere include 1. Towers and turrets. These vertical elements create an imposing silhouette and can symbolize isolation or a vantage point for unseen watchers. 2. Steep, gabled roofs. These create deep shadows and give the impression of a looming presence. 3. Ornate trim and decorations. Intricate woodwork can create shadows and seem to move in dim light, while grotesques or gargoyles add a touch of the macabre. 4. Large, multi-paned windows. These can reflect light in eerie ways and serve as portals for ghostly apparitions. 5. Wraparound porches. These create shadowy, in-between spaces that blur the line between inside and outside. However, it's not just Victorian mansions that can be haunting. Abandoned industrial buildings, with their large, echoing spaces and rusting machinery, can be equally unnerving. Old hospitals and asylums, with their institutional architecture and associations with suffering, are also common settings for ghost stories. The interior design of a space is just as important as its exterior in creating a haunting atmosphere. Some common interior elements associated with haunted houses include 1. Long, dark hallways. These create a sense of disorientation and provide hiding places for unseen presences. 2. Grand staircases. These serve as focal points and can be the site of dramatic ghostly appearances. 3. Hidden passages and secret rooms. These add an element of mystery and suggest that the house holds secrets. 4. Ornate fireplaces. These can serve as portals to the supernatural in stories and provide a focal point for ghostly activity. 5. Large mirrors. These play with light and reflection and in many cultures are believed to be gateways for spirits. 6. Antique furniture and decor. Old objects are often believed to hold residual energy from past owners. Color plays a significant role in creating a haunting atmosphere. Dark, rich colors like deep reds, purples, and greens can create a oppressive, claustrophobic feeling. Faded, peeling wallpaper suggests decay and neglect. In contrast, all white spaces can feel sterile and unsettling, particularly in institutional settings. Lighting is another crucial element. Dim, flickering lights create moving shadows and make it difficult for the eye to focus. Harsh, institutional lighting can be equally unnerving, creating a stark, uncomfortable atmosphere. Sound, while not strictly an architectural element, is often built into the design of haunted spaces. Creaky floorboards, rattling pipes, and windows that whistle in the wind all contribute to an unsettling auditory landscape. In real historical buildings with reputations for being haunted, these elements often exist naturally due to the age and style of the building. However, in purpose-built haunted attractions, designers carefully incorporate these elements to maximize the scary atmosphere. Modern haunted house designers often use principles of environmental psychology to create spaces that induce fear and unease. Some techniques include 1. Forced perspective. This can make spaces appear larger or smaller than they are, creating a sense of disorientation. 2. Non-Euclidean geometry. Subtle angles in walls or floors can create a sense of wrongness that the brain struggles to process. 3. Infrasound. As mentioned earlier, very low-frequency sound waves can induce feelings of unease. 4. Temperature control. Sudden cold spots are often associated with ghostly presence. 5. Scent design. Subtle scents can trigger emotional responses or memories. Some designers of extreme haunted house experiences have pushed these principles to their limits. McCamey Manor, for example, is known for its physically and psychologically intense experiences that blur the line between haunted attraction and endurance test. In recent years, there's been a trend towards more immersive and interactive haunted house experiences. These often incorporate elements of escape rooms or interactive theater, requiring visitors to engage more directly with their environment. This has led to more complex architectural designs that allow for multiple paths through the attraction and spaces that can be reconfigured on the fly. Virtual reality has also begun to influence haunted house design. Some attractions now incorporate VR elements, allowing for impossible architectural features like infinite corridors or rooms that transform completely. This technology allows designers to break free from the constraints of physical architecture, creating truly impossible spaces. The architecture and design of haunted spaces, whether real or imagined, play on our deepest psychological fears. They create environments that feel wrong on a fundamental level, spaces where we feel exposed and vulnerable. By understanding and leveraging these principles, designers can create experiences that continue to frighten and fascinate us, tapping into our primal fears and our endless fascination with the unknown. As we continue our exploration of haunted houses, we'll see how these architectural and design principles are interpreted differently across cultures, reflecting diverse beliefs about the supernatural and what makes a space truly haunting. 7. Cultural differences in haunted house traditions around the world. While the concept of haunted houses is nearly universal, the specifics of what makes a place haunted, and how these spaces are perceived and interacted with can vary widely across different cultures. Let's embark on a global tour to explore how various cultures around the world conceptualize and engage with haunted spaces. In Western cultures, particularly in the United States and United Kingdom, haunted houses are often associated with specific historical events or tragic occurrences. The ghosts are usually thought to be the spirits of deceased individuals, often with unfinished business or victims of violent deaths. These haunted locations are frequently turned into tourist attractions or investigation sites for paranormal enthusiasts. In contrast, many Asian cultures have a more complex relationship with haunted spaces. In Japan, for example, the concept of eerie, ghost, is deeply ingrained in cultural beliefs. Japanese haunted houses, known as obakiyashiki, are often temporary attractions set up during the summer months, particularly in August during the Obon festival when ancestral spirits are believed to return to the world of the living. Japanese haunted house attractions tend to be more theatrical than their Western counterparts, often employing elaborate storylines and actors. They also frequently incorporate elements of Japanese folklore, such as the onryo, vengeful spirit, or yokai, supernatural creatures. Interestingly, in Japan, there's a tradition of visiting haunted attractions to cool off in the summer, as the chills from being scared are believed to lower body temperature. In China, the concept of hungry ghosts plays a significant role in haunted house traditions. The Hungry Ghost Festival, held in the 7th month of the Chinese lunar calendar, is a time when the spirits of the dead are believed to roam the earth. During this time, many people avoid dark, lonely places and perform rituals to appease restless spirits. Unlike in Western cultures, Chinese haunted houses are not typically tourist attractions but are instead places to be avoided or appeased through offerings and rituals. Indian culture has its own unique perspective on haunted spaces. In Hindu belief, spirits that haven't achieved moksha, liberation, may linger in the material world. These spirits, known as bhoot or preta, are often associated with specific locations. However, the concept of a haunted house as a form of entertainment is less common in India. Instead, places believed to be haunted are often treated with a mixture of fear and reverence, with some becoming sites of worship or pilgrimage. In many African cultures, the concept of haunted spaces is closely tied to ancestral spirits and traditional religious beliefs. For example, in some West African traditions, certain forests or groves are considered sacred and haunted by spirits. These places are often protected and only accessed by spiritual leaders or during specific rituals. The idea of a haunted house as a form of entertainment is less prevalent, with spiritual beliefs about ancestors and nature spirits taking precedence. Latin American cultures often blend indigenous beliefs with Catholic traditions, resulting in unique perspectives on haunted spaces. In Mexico, for example, the Day of the Dead celebration embraces the idea of spirits returning to the world of the living, but in a celebratory rather than fearful context. Haunted locations in Latin America are often tied to historical events or local legends, with some becoming popular tourist attractions. In Middle Eastern cultures, the concept of jinn, supernatural creatures, often takes the place of ghosts in haunted house lore. These beings are believed to inhabit abandoned or desolate places. Unlike Western ghosts, jinn are thought to be living creatures with free will, capable of both good and evil. Places believed to be inhabited by jinn are generally avoided rather than exploited for entertainment. Scandinavian countries have their own rich traditions of haunted spaces, often tied to Norse mythology and folklore. In Sweden, for instance, the concept of gengingare, a spirit that walks again, is similar to the Western idea of ghosts. But these spirits are often associated with specific natural locations rather than houses. Haunted attractions in these countries often incorporate elements of local folklore, creating experiences that are culturally specific. In Australia, haunted house traditions blend Western influences with elements of Aboriginal spiritual beliefs. Some of the most famous haunted locations in Australia are tied to its colonial history, such as Port Arthur in Tasmania. However, there's also a growing recognition of sacred Aboriginal sites, some of which are considered haunted in a spiritual sense, requiring respect and specific protocols for visitation. The concept of haunted houses has also been influenced by globalization and the spread of popular culture. American-style haunted house attractions have become increasingly popular in many countries, often existing alongside more traditional beliefs about spiritual spaces. This has led to interesting hybrid forms of haunted attractions that blend local folklore with globally recognized tropes. It's worth noting that the commercialization of haunted spaces is not universally accepted. In some cultures, the idea of profiting from or entertainment based on spiritual beliefs is considered disrespectful or even dangerous. This has led to debates and controversies in some areas where traditional beliefs clash with the desire to create haunted attractions for tourism or entertainment. The diversity of haunted house traditions around the world reflects the rich tapestry of human beliefs about the supernatural. From the theatrical obiki-ashiki of Japan to the sacred groves of West Africa, these traditions offer insight into how different cultures conceptualize the relationship between the living and the dead, the natural and the supernatural. As our world becomes increasingly interconnected, these diverse traditions continue to influence and inspire each other, creating new forms of engagement with the concept of haunted spaces. Whether viewed as entertainment, spiritual sites, or places to be avoided, haunted houses remain a fascinating lens through which to explore cultural beliefs, fears, and the human relationship with the unknown. 8. Ethical considerations around exploiting tragedy for entertainment in haunted attractions. As we conclude our journey through the world of haunted houses, it's crucial to address the ethical implications of using real tragedies and historical sites as the basis for entertainment. The line between respectful commemoration and exploitation can be thin, and the haunted house industry often finds itself walking this tightrope. One of the primary ethical concerns is the commercialization of human suffering. Many haunted attractions are based on real historical events or locations where actual tragedies occurred. For example, some haunted house attractions in the United States are set in former psychiatric hospitals or prisons, places where real people suffered and died. Critics argue that using these locations for entertainment trivializes the experiences of those who lived and died there. The case of the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia illustrates this dilemma. Once a real psychiatric hospital where patients endured often inhumane conditions, it now operates as a haunted attraction. While the owners argue that the tours help preserve the building and educate people about its history, others contend that it sensationalizes mental illness and disrespects the memory of former patients. Another ethical consideration is the potential for re-traumatization. Haunted attractions that recreate scenes of violence or tragedy may be triggering for individuals who have experienced similar traumas in real life. This raises questions about the responsibility of haunted house operators to provide warnings or support for potentially affected visitors. The use of cultural or religious elements in haunted attractions can also be problematic. Some haunted houses incorporate elements from various cultures or religions, often without proper understanding or respect for their significance. This can lead to accusations of cultural appropriation or religious insensitivity. There's also the question of historical accuracy. While haunted attractions are primarily meant for entertainment, many claim to be based on true stories or real locations. When these attractions take liberties with historical facts for the sake of a scarier experience, they risk spreading misinformation and perpetuating myths about historical events or figures. The impact on local communities is another consideration. While haunted attractions can bring tourism and economic benefits to an area, they can also change the character of a place. Residents living near famous, haunted locations may find their daily lives disrupted by ghost hunters or thrill seekers, especially if the hauntings are tied to recent or well-remembered events. The exploitation of tragedy for profit raises ethical questions even when the events are in the distant past. For instance, attractions based on witch trials or execution sites may be seen as profiting from historical injustices. There's a debate about whether such attractions serve as a form of dark tourism that educates people about historical wrongs or whether they simply commodify tragedy. Some haunted attractions have attempted to address these ethical concerns by partnering with historical societies or mental health organizations, donating a portion of their proceeds to relevant causes, or incorporating educational elements into their experiences. For example, the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, which operates as a haunted attraction during Halloween, also offers historical tours and has exhibits on prison reform. There's also a growing trend towards creating entirely fictional haunted attractions that don't rely on real tragedies for their scares. These attractions can still provide thrilling experiences without the ethical baggage of exploiting real-world suffering. The question of consent is also relevant. While historical figures can't give permission for their stories to be used in haunted attractions, some modern haunted houses are based on more recent events. This raises questions about the rights of living individuals or their immediate descendants to control how their stories are told. The ethics of fear as entertainment itself is a topic of philosophical debate. Some argue that consensual fear experiences can be cathartic and even beneficial, helping people confront and manage their fears in a safe environment. Others contend that the commercialization of fear contributes to a culture of anxiety and desensitization to real-world horrors. As the haunted attraction industry continues to grow and evolve, these ethical considerations are likely to become increasingly important. Operators, visitors, and communities will need to grapple with questions of respect, accuracy, sensitivity, and the appropriate use of history and culture in the pursuit of entertainment. In conclusion, the world of haunted houses is complex and multifaceted, reflecting our deepest fears, our cultural beliefs, and our endless fascination with the unknown. From ancient folklore to high-tech modern attractions, haunted houses have evolved alongside human society, always finding new ways to thrill and terrify us. As we've explored in this journey, haunted houses are more than just spooky entertainment. They're a lens through which we can examine history, psychology, cultural differences, and ethical dilemmas. They challenge our perceptions of reality, push the boundaries of technology and design, and force us to confront our own mortality and the mysteries of the afterlife. Whether you're a skeptic or a true believer, a thrill seeker or a cautious observer, the world of haunted houses has something to offer. It invites us to explore the darker corners of our imagination, to test our courage, and to ponder the big questions about life, death, and what might lie beyond. As we conclude this audio journey, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences with haunted houses. What draws you to these eerie places? What fears do they tap into? And how do they challenge or reinforce your beliefs about the supernatural? Remember, the next time you step into a haunted house, whether it's a high-tech attraction or a centuries-old building with a spooky reputation, you're not just walking into a scary place. You're stepping into a rich tapestry of history, culture, and human psychology. You're participating in a tradition that stretches back centuries and spans the globe. So go ahead, indulge your curiosity about the unknown. Visit a haunted attraction, explore a historical site with a spooky reputation, or simply share ghost stories with friends. Just remember to approach these experiences with respect, an open mind, and a healthy dose of critical thinking. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of haunted houses. Until next time, keep your wits about you, and don't be afraid to peek behind the curtain. You never know what you might discover.